Well, hey there, everyone, and welcome to the VIP Trade Room with Roger Scott and Matt Horton. Now, today is Wednesday, December 3rd, and my name is Raleigh White, and I'm coming to you live from a kind of a cloudy, overcast day here in Austin, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Now, in today's session, Roger's going to be covering a range of important topics with a continued focus on the Pro Trader dashboard. Specifically, he's going to be talking about how you can gain an extra market edge with the Pro Trader dashboard. He's going to share how he uses the Pro Trader dashboard for swing trades as well as day trades. He's also going to talk to you about how to select the right option when you see a Pro Trader dashboard entry signal. He's also going to focus on staying in rhythm with intraday price action, finding late morning trades after making a base earlier in the day, and how he uses profit targets as support and resistance. Now, if you have any questions during Roger's presentation, please type them in the chat window and we'll address them periodically throughout his presentation so as to not interfere with what he's saying. Also, folks, remember now that the chat is open to everyone, and we do have some ground rules. Number one, always be kind and supportive in your posts. Number two, please keep to the topic. Number three, no political discussions allowed whatsoever. And also, folks, please keep your side conversations to a bare minimum so that the rest of us can focus on the education and the information that Roger is sharing, because he's here to give us an edge trading the markets and to help us all become a lot more confident and consistent in our trading activities. Now, for those of you that were with us this morning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time for Roger's pre-market briefing, you would have noted that there were several key catalysts that we needed to be aware of. In the chip sector, Marvell was up a whopping 10% coming into the open. On the tech front, Uber was up 1%, but CrowdStrike was down 2%. On the retail front, we knew that Dollar Tree had earnings coming out before market open. For crude, we have an inventory report that's scheduled to come out this morning. And on the Fed side, we had ADP numbers coming out much worse than forecasted on the employment front, and ISM services came out slightly weaker than anticipated. Now, some of you may be wondering, why do we even talk about catalysts? What's the value to that of that for us as traders? Well, the thing that Roger wants to reinforce in all of us is we need to be aware of information that's either known or will be known during the trading day and may not yet be priced into the market. And that's what these catalysts are. These catalysts represent volatility points that we need to be aware of as we consider potentially trading stocks that might be, for example, in the chip sector or the tech sector or the retail sector. Now, as far as Roger's small cap watch list is concerned, he gave us 6 tickers to take a look at this morning. And let me go ahead and get those set up here on my other screen. And let me share that with you. And let's take a look at how these tickers have been performing today. All right. So what you are seeing are 8 panels here, and the 6 panels we're going to be looking at here are the 6 panels essentially to the left and to the middle. In the upper left-hand corner, we had VRAX, and the pre-market high on that was at $1.05, and it has made no move towards this area whatsoever. Next to it, we have our IMRN, and the target for that was $2.44. And we can also see here that it's just been kind of drifting ever so slightly lower with no volume to speak of. So I don't expect to see anything there. Next to it here, we have CLNN. Our target for that one was $13.50. The market open, it just chopped sideways, volume disappeared, nothing there whatsoever. In the lower left-hand corner, we have PMAX, PMAX. Our target on that on the pre-market was $4.25. Once again, also just chopping sideways since the market opened, nothing happening there. Next to it, we have HTOO, Hutu, HTOO. And the pre-market high there, or our target, was $5.10. It opened up here right around $3.85 and has done nothing. And lastly, guys, we have IXHL. Our target on that was 55 cents. It opened right here at about 48 cents, moved lower, and has done nothing. So, folks, there were 6 tickers that were represented today on Roger's watch list, and none of them has hit their target, and I doubt that anyone will today. So let's go back to our normal presentation. And before I leave the small caps, you need to know that when Roger makes these selections, he's looking at small caps that not only is he looking at price action, but he's primarily looking at extreme volume. So in the overnight trading before the open of the day, he's looking for volume that might approach at least 100 of the 100 times what the normal volume is associated with that particular small cap. He also likes to remind us that small caps are their own animal. Once again, what drives that volume are retail traders like us, because there's no institutional money flowing into them whatsoever. Also, folks, if you're considering trading any of these small caps, only do it during the normal market hours. And if you don't have a fill by around 2 p.m. Eastern time, take the trade off. It's not worth the risk. And speaking of risk, if you happen to get into one of these small cap trades, do not hold it overnight. Please don't do that. The risk is too strong that will move totally against you. So now, with regard to the large caps, we can see that there were several large caps that he shared with us. As a matter of fact, 24 in total, 11 shorts and 13 long. Now, if you've been with us in the morning, or if you haven't been with us in the morning, I like what Roger does. He brings up each one of these tickers, he shows the chart, and he usually leaves us with a comment as to what he's looking for. Once again, if they're on his short list, okay, or the long list, this watch list means that any of these tickers has the potential to be a live trade that he takes, provided that it meets, the kind of setup that he's looking for, if it approaches the correct level, the things that Roger likes to see when shorting or going long on a stock. And if he sees something that he likes, more often than not, that's going to show up as a recommendation in the trading pit or in any of his other premium services. As it relates to his pre-market closing comments, well, coming into the market, we noted that the futures were all up coming into the open. We did note that the put to call ratio was basically favoring calls. It was dipping down, meaning that it's starting to become a little heavy on the bullish side. And we did also note that the VIX had bottomed out right about at 16, well below that 20 level that we keep an eye on. But he also said, look, the bonds continue to stay low at the low end of their range, resting right at a key support level. And this is something that he wants to see move up. He wants to see those bonds moving up. So once again, it's consolidating right there at support. He also noted that the SPY, the RSP, the QQQ, and the MAGs, they were all also sitting there right below major resistance. So you have the bond low in their range, you have the other markets higher in their range, sitting below resistance and above support. And what he's hoping is that the bonds are going to move up, influence the rest of those markets, and have them pop up and give us a nice, bullish cycle to consider. But right now, it looks like things are just in consolidation mode as we were coming into the open. He also said, folks, we have a two-sided market without any clear market momentum. What that means is that the number of stocks making 1 month and 90-day and 3 month highs and lows were about balanced. Okay. So it's not like we had any really momentum to the upside or to the downside. He also said, folks, be really careful because we are in a, and I'll put it in quotes. Yes, he said wonky. He said we're in a wonky seasonality period, and we're going to be in that mode until about early next week. So, once again, from his perspective, without any clear momentum going on, with the index market sitting right below resistance, the bond sitting above some support, he's going like, guys, we have to be very, very careful in our selection process. And I know that if he's got time, he'll update his watch list and tell us what he's looking for or looking at as far as a midday is concerned. I see a quick little question here from Christopher that says, "Hey, I missed this morning. Did he discuss gold or Bitcoin?" Yes, he did. I mean, essentially, gold is up in its range. He says basically consolidating, not making any move there whatsoever. And Bitcoin looks like it has bottomed out, looks like it's coming back a lit, but it still has a long way to go. In the case of gold and Bitcoin, he says it has a long way to go before he considers any active long trading on either of those indexes or sectors. So, folks, once again, it's great to see you here. We have a super agenda on board. This is going to be a continuing discussion on how Roger uses the Pro Trader dashboard to trade in the markets. He's going to be talking about how the Pro Trader dashboard just gives you an extra edge, when looking at trading the markets. He's going to share with you how he uses the Pro Trader dashboard for swing trades. So a lot of people had asked questions about, hey, we get it as it comes to day trades, but what about swing trades? Roger's going to talk about how he does that. He's also going to talk about selecting the right option for a Pro Trader dashboard entry signals. He's going to talk about the importance of staying in rhythm with the intraday price action. Once again, Roger's huge on understanding and identifying that there is a market rhythm. And once you identify that and understand it, you'll be well positioned to take advantage of it. He's also going to let us know that there are late morning trade opportunities that pop up between 10:30 and 11 o'clock in the morning. And this is after those stocks, for example, they establish a pretty firm base early in the morning, and then they start to give us a move we can take advantage of. And lastly, he's going to tell us about using profit targets for support and resistance. So, folks, once again, we're delighted to have you here. If you've got questions during Roger's presentation, please type them in the chat window and we'll address them periodically throughout the session so as to not interfere with Roger's presentation. And remember, folks, that the chat is open to everyone, and we do have some ground rules. Number one, always be kind and supportive in your posts. Number two, please keep to the topic. Number three, no political discussions allowed whatsoever. And also, folks, keep your side conversations to a bare minimum so that the rest of us can focus on the education and Roger's sharing with us, because he's here to give us an edge and to help us all become much more confident and consistent in our trading activities. And with that, folks, let's say hi to Matt. Let's say hi to Roger. Hi, guys. Happy midday to you all. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Hey,
I'm
Raleigh.
doing just super, guys. And once again, just keeping an eye on the markets. Roger, I think you pegged it from this morning. Nothing extreme happening out there. We did have that report. That employment report from ADP came out, was pretty negative. I think it had a short impact. I haven't seen anything on the ISM came out. Okay, and it was a little worse than expected. I haven't seen the crude oil inventory report yet. It was delayed, at least on the feed that I had. But outside of that, things pretty much, I think, pretty normal. Of the six small cap tickers we got, Roger, none of them have even come close to hitting their target. So, I doubt we're going to have a hit today. But that's my update from where I sit coming into the open today, and I'm really kind of excited about today's agenda. People really enjoyed seeing and understanding how you use the Pro Trader dashboard, and this is continuing presentation on that, Roger.
Yes, we are going to continue where we left off yesterday. Greetings, everyone. And if you guys are just coming in here, just wanted to give you a little update. I will be having, I'm going to separate the diagonal class into two sessions. I didn't want to do it today for multiple reasons. One of those reasons was because a lot of people are coming in late back home. They were holiday traveling. People are delayed. People didn't have a chance. Some people just got in on Monday. So I wanted to give people a few days to kind of go through the existing material that's there. Um, and I wanted to make sure that you guys were all, situated. So I'm going to do the first session on Friday at 2:30, right after we're done here. I'll take like a 5-10 minute break, and we'll do the first session on Friday, and then we'll do the second session on Tuesday at 2:30. So I'm going to do 1 hour session on Friday, and then I'm going to do another hour session next Tuesday. That way, it'll give you guys time to prepare questions, review, and so forth, so forth. And if we have more questions, then we'll have another session. I don't really, I don't mind doing that. So we will, we'll be tackling that very, very shortly. But again, I wanted folks to just give them a little time to breathe after the holiday, and we'll make it into a great, great session.
That
The
sounds great,
market's been,
Roger. And that's
yeah,
Friday and Tuesday, right?
that's Friday and Tuesday at 2:30. I already put it on my calendar. Yeah, I
Excellent.
want to do it on Friday and Thursday, and I don't want it to interfere. They wanted me to just live screen today's presentation, but I said no, I don't want to do that. I want to be live with you guys because I have a lot of important things to talk about, and it's timely. All right, hey Nathan, welcome back. Like Nathan right there, first day back from celebrating. There you go. See, a lot of people are just coming back right now.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah. And Lance says, how do you attend the early session? Raleigh will give you a link that you could just get a link, and I post a link in the
absolutely.
Telegram channel, and you can like our channel, and you can get there. And yeah, Matt's been killing it in the S&P today. How many points you got today, Matt?
I think we're at a little over two.
That's good. Good. We had two
Two,
trades, right?
yeah, almost 2.5.
Yeah, yeah, almost 2.5 points. Not bad. Not bad for a choppy Monday. A choppy Wednesday.
We're in a
That's
third right
great.
now.
Yeah. Oh, we're in the oh yeah, you're in the third long. So let me
Oh,
go
two and
ahead
a
and
half
share.
trades. Okay, so we're halfway through that third trade. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So just to show you guys, this is the market today. Basically, this is yesterday's high. We couldn't get there, and we bounced off. Now, if you look on a daily chart, it still looks like it's creating that flag. And remember what I said: the longer we can stay here, right? Because we're about to start a very strong seasonal period. Okay. Um, it starts, I believe it starts Monday or Tuesday of next week, and it's not a really strong period. It's still a little choppy, but then it really takes off. So we're buying time right now. The longer we could stay choppy and stay in this range, the higher the odds we will take off. It's very hard to take off after you've already started to descend. But so far, this is holding up okay. And I like what I'm seeing here. And momentum levels are back up on the 20 days. So hopefully we'll close well today. Here, we're back at 300. We went from 144 to 300, which is really positive. And delete some of this crap here. And if you look at bar chart right here, via the VIX, you could see we're still coming off. We're still going lower. We're not going higher, which is very, very positive for the market. And again, my only big concern is right here. It's the bond market. This is the big concern that I have right here. But again, as long as we don't break the 200-day line, which happens to be the neckline here on this head and shoulders pattern, we're okay. Next week, Fed meeting 2 can impact. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's on the 10th. So, yeah, we only have 8 days left. It's on next Thursday. So, and they're gonna lower rates. They will lower rates unless something really drastic happens. They're going to lower rates.
That inflation report helped this morning too.
Yeah, and the inflation report did help this morning as well. So, just letting you guys know kind of where and I know you may be coming here and you may be saying to yourself, well, you know, you may be saying to yourself, well, Roger, you've been saying the same thing. Yeah, that's because the dynamics of the markets have not changed. We're still in this environment on the bond market right here. And we are still in this chop here. And you could see even RSP, just like it looked like yesterday, was going to give up the ghost, and it's not anymore. It's getting choppy. So again, the longer we could stay here, time is on our side right now. It's really, really on our side. And that's how we have to look at the market right now. Yeah, the market is setting itself up, but again, it's consolidating here a little too long. And it's either going to start coming up or down, but in this channel, we're not really going to get anywhere right now. Yeah, they're definitely going to reduce rates. It's priced in. I mean, it's like 90% priced in right now. Yeah. Okay. So with that said, we took a winner this morning on what did we take a winner on this morning?
GM, True Trend.
No, I took a
Oh,
winner on B. Yes, thank you, Adrian. We took a winner on IBB this morning. We took a winner on what was it, Matt? What did you say?
GM and True Trend.
Which I still like, actually. Still like. And I gave you guys a time spread in the pit. So that's what we've done so far today. And as Raleigh said, and we've done 2 trades, and we're in the third one in in the trading zone live. So today I want to show you and talk to you about what we kind of left off yesterday.
Right.
We kind of left off yesterday. So I want to kind of um, talk a little bit about some of these topics. All right. All right. All right. How to use options. So this is what I want to cover right now. I want to talk about how to use the Pro Trader dashboard for swing trading, how to select the right options for Pro Trader dashboard. I want to give you some big picture dynamics, okay? And I think this will help. And I also want to talk about using profit targets as support and resistance areas, okay? All right. A lot to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is this. Most of you guys, the first thing you need to do that'll make your life easier, much, much easier, is I want to show you guys something. Now, I showed this to you guys before a few times, but I'm going to show it to you again, okay? That's market structure right there. That's market structure right there. That's market structure right there. Now, what did I just show you? I just showed you, I'm going to do this again so you could see it. Why isn't this thing erasing? Yeah, okay, good. So, market structure 1. I know guys who charge $10,000 to do this. I'm not kidding. So pay attention. I'm serious. I really do know guys that charge $10,000 to teach you this market structure stuff that I'm talking about right now. That's market structure 2. Yeah, these are day trading market structures. And market structure 3. These are the 3 basic market structures that you have. Okay? Within these market structures, typically this is what it looks like. Morning up, give some of it back in the afternoon, right? Why does it do this? Morning up, give some of it away or all of it away, and then come back up or drift. So what usually happens is this: between 9 and 11 o'clock in the morning, you have directional bias. Okay. Between 11:30 and 2:30, you have it giving it back everything it gained, either going like this or going like this, giving up most of it or just staying choppy. And then in the last hour, it usually picks up again in the same direction that it traded in the morning, or it just chops around the remainder of the day and gives you a low probability afternoon cycle. So yes, look what Richard just says. I would be paying a lot of attention right now. You should be paying a lot of attention right now. So when you're looking at the Pro Trader dashboard, one of the reasons why I try to trade later in the day is because what did I just let me delete all this crap again. Is usually After 10:30, 11 o'clock, the market just does this. Now, this is your golden opportunity. Well, Roger, you just said the market's not doing anything. Why is this our golden opportunity? Let me explain to you why. If a stock, let's say the stock market opened up like this, right? Okay. What is your favorite stock going to do? It's going to do this. No matter what the market, no matter what, it's going to just do that, okay? Let's say the market opened down. What is your favorite stock going to do? It's going to open down, okay? But after 11 o'clock, when the markets fizzle out, the stock starts waking up or starts doing its own thing. And that's when you can really see what it's doing, okay? Which is why we wait till 10, 10:30. What time do we put in that trade? Got it, Omar. Got you there. For example, look at the time I gave you that IBB trade, 10:59. At 10:59 in the morning. I didn't give it to you at 9:30. The reason I do that is because the later it's too hard when the market's doing this or this in the morning. It's very hard to gauge true direction of stocks. That's how you guys get FOMO. But by 11 o'clock, when the market starts going, and let's say a stock went down in the morning and then doing this now at 11 o'clock when the market's doing this, that's relative strength. It's easier to gauge relative strength. So when the market's going down, your favorite stocks are going to go down. When the market's going up, your favorite stock's going to go up. But when the market's doing this, you could really see what your favorite stock is doing. Okay. So FOMO means fear of missing out. It's what everybody here has, Rick. Excuse me. So, and I really hope you guys are here and listening. We only got about five. Let's see, we got about almost 500 people here, 400 here, and 80 on YouTube. So, these are all Eastern times. These are all Eastern times. That's a good point. Thank you for mentioning that. Thanks for mentioning that. I appreciate that. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out if the market is going to do this or if the market is going to do this or this. How do you do that? That's what you got the ADD for. Remember what I told you? The first thing I look for is the ADD. If the ADD is at 200, then you're looking at this scenario. Oh, and by the way, 80% of the time, you're looking at this scenario right here. Mm-hmm. Okay? 20% of the time, you're going to get this scenario here or this scenario here. 20% of the time. You know when that will happen? When the VIX is above 1200. Excuse me, when the ADD is above 1200. So the first thing I look is at this. Is it going to be a run day or is it going to be a choppy day? Regardless of what the market's doing, this is what I look at. Okay. This is telling me if we have the potential to really do this or this or this. Right? Okay. That's what the ADD's for. So you should always be thinking in terms of market structure, picking trades. Now, assuming you have your market structure, remember, after 10:30 in the morning, the market will do usually one of two things. Consolidate this. In other words, look, regardless of the kind of day it is, regardless of the ADD, about 10:30 to 11:30, the market usually does this or this. Or if it's going down, it'll do this or it'll do this. Capiche? Jen, have you heard me say one word about... I've been talking now for 20 minutes. Have you heard me say one word about gaps? I haven't said a word about gaps. Why are you bringing gaps into the equation? Let's not confuse anybody here, okay? All right. Everything we're doing so far is for day trading. Why are you bringing up daily price action, Dave? I'm talking about day trading. This is intraday price action. Intraday price action. Everything we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes has to do with intraday price action. I have not mentioned the word gaps, and I have not mentioned the word daily charts. And yeah, I'm going to stop looking at the chat. That's another good idea. Thank you.
Yes.
Good idea, right? That's the best idea. But don't bring up things that aren't relevant to what we're talking about. If we're talking about the ocean, don't bring up lakes, okay? Okay, so the market, you need to figure this out as soon as possible. Okay? Then you need to be mindful of the natural rhythm of the market intraday, regardless of what it does. And this is where the good stuff happens. So let's say the market's doing this for the first 45 minutes, but ADD is at 300. The odds are it's just going to do this or do this. Now let's say it's doing this, but ADD's at 1200. The odds are it's still going to do this, but then it's going to pop up again. See the difference? It's got firepower. Excuse me. Now, well, what do I do, Roger? I mean, well, here's what you do. The best time to strike is when the S&P is doing this. The S&P is doing this. When the S&P is doing this. Well, what do I do? Well, you know how I say don't do anything at least for the first half hour? And sometimes, like today, hour and a half, right? This is what your favorite stock will do, the stocks on my watch list. Bang! There's your entry right there.
Mhm.
Okay? Or bang. There's your entry right there. Not at 9:30, at 11 o'clock in the morning. Opens, does this for a while, consolidates, bingo. Using the Pro Trader dashboard. Bingo happens when it goes from being in range to seeing a breakout. Okay? Very, very simple. I'm going to rewind this. But here, let me rewind this again. So let me show you. Let me give you an example. I'm going to give you a. By the way, I don't have the chat open right now, but is this helpful? If this is not helpful to you guys, then you need. Then
Yeah, Roger, it's pure gold. And that's what people are saying. Just pure gold. Focus, take out your pencil, your pad, take notes. This is unbelievable. So, Roger, just to recap on that last point, you're basically saying when you see the SPY moving sideways like this, that's a heads up to take a look at something. And then you're looking at a particular stock and you're waiting for it to break above a particular level.
Yes. Yes. So, for example, let's say that let's say the market's opening up like this, right? All your favorite stocks are up 3 points. All the FOMO Joes are buying and they're about to get stopped out. So, for a first hour, the market just goes straight up, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's not going to go up forever, right? It's going to do this.
Hmm.
And then it's going to pick up again. It doesn't just go straight up all day, okay? It either gaps up, market closed here, it gaps up. First time I mentioned the word gap. Or it just goes up, 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 and it has a lot of strength. Or it goes down a lot in the morning. And people get really, and I'm sleeping. I'm literally driving to work. So, but the market will cool off. Now, if the market's just choppy, it's just going to be like that all day. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to open up and then it's just going to fall asleep. But let's say the ADD is hot, okay? Let's say the ADD is hot. The market's opening up like this. This is not the time to go buying these stocks. This is not the time to go buying these stocks. this is the time to start looking at the stocks.
Mhm.
Because what will happen is your favorite stock will do this. Boom. Or boom. Or boom. Okay. Now, just to give you a real quick example, I don't know if Omar's here or not. Omar, if you're here, just say hello. And I'm not going to give anything away, Omar. There's really nothing to give away. But Omar, for example, I'm doing some one-on-one with Omar right now. So let's say the market's opening up higher or lower, right? Market opens up. Market opens up like this. It does. Market opens up like this. It's what is it doing right now? Right at oh, it's at a swing high. Matt, are you long?
Spy?
Yeah.
We are.
How are we doing? How many we got in there?
We're up $1.50.
Yeah.
53.
Very, very nice. So what Omar does is waits for all the excitement to stop, to the market to pause the excitement. Then he'll wait for the stock to do this, and he'll buy it right here, and he'll put a stop loss right there. Okay. Let's say downside move. Sell it right here, and you'll put a stop loss right there. Let me ask you guys, is that any different than what the Pro Trader dashboard does? It's exactly the same, right?
Yeah. No, and it's great, Roger, because the thing, once again, everybody watching this, you don't want to try to pick the bottom on this. You want to make sure that you get that confirmation,
Yeah,
before looking at that entry. Yeah.
and also between let's say 9:30 and 10:30, the stock will have developed its base.
Yeah.
So you'll know exactly where to put your stop. And if it breaks that level, you know it's breaking down. And that's it. That's it. So again, the rule number one is, and it's not about getting in as late the later in the day. It's that breakouts that happen on stocks after 10 o'clock. And I say 10 o'clock, but it's usually 10:30, 11 o'clock. That's usually when I start trading. Like today, 11 o'clock is you want to see stocks that are starting their move a little later in the day because the market, regardless if it's a trend day or if it's a down day or if it's a choppy day, by 10:30, 11 o'clock, usually the market is giving back everything it did in the first hour or just chops around. Now, anybody's been trading for a while. Am I not accurately 100% in saying that? Isn't this the typical MO? We rally the first hour, we get really excited, then we end up giving everything back, and then we either rally from there or we turn into a low probability day. I dare anybody here to tell me that's not the rhythm of the market.
No, I think we've all experienced that. And we've
Am
all
I
been FOMO Joes.
right? We make
Yeah.
a big move in the morning, one way or the other, right? We get the big move with a lot of volume in the morning. We get the, oh shit, we're going to give back half of it or all of it, or we're just going to consolidate for half of the day. And then after like around 2 o'clock, we're either going to fizzle out completely and fall asleep, sugar coma, or a meat coma, and or we're going to do another leg up. But you see, you don't when the stock market's up, it's hard to find relative strength stocks. When the market's doing this in the morning, but at 10:30, 11 o'clock, that's the time to strike, which by the way, there's nothing here that I've taught you that I have not mentioned at least 100 times before. Okay. There's nothing new here. I'm just putting it together for you guys. So the best time to look for a stock is not at 9:30 in the morning. It's at 10:30, 10:40, 10:50, 11 o'clock, around that time in the morning. All right. And real simple. I'm not going to give away any trades that Omar is doing because he's in those trades, but I could assure you, let's just say the GM was a trade. Omar, here, let me show you where Omar would be going long, where I would be going long, where Omar would be going long, where just about everybody I know would be going long. But I'll show you on a couple of different stocks. How about that? So you could see.
Okay.
So let's just take this. Going long somewhere right here. Obviously, this hasn't happened yet. And stop loss would be somewhere right there, right under here. Let me show you a couple of different examples. So Cisco, okay? That's a good example, actually. So I love the stock. I gave it to you as a watch list stock today, right? I really like the stock, and I know for a fact that Matt went long that stock in one of our programs because I told him to. So here's Cisco, okay? See how Cisco's building a base? Okay. See how it starts breaking out here? Let me take a screenshot here of this. Okay. Omar would have his stop somewhere over here, and I would have my stop loss right below the VWAP. So my stop would be here, his stop would be here, and buying a breakout. Look at when it started breaking out.
Yep.
It started breaking out when? This is 11:35, 11:40. So see how it's consolidating here? So if it breaks this consolidation, he would be out of the trade. Okay? So now how do you do the same thing for swing trades? All right. Well, we obviously have to we obviously have to like the daily stock, right? We obviously have to like the daily stock that we are on. That's definitely a trade that would look really good right here. We like daily. We already have a breakout. So what I would do is I would wait till the end of the day. And I would wait and I would make sure that on the Pro Trader dashboard, so I would find like, say, 10 stocks like this, okay, that I really like on a daily and I like how they're performing intraday. Then at about 3:20, probably even earlier, like around 3 o'clock, I'll start looking at the hourly relative strength right here. Right here. I'll be looking at the hourly relative strength right here. Okay? And I'd want to see one of my stocks coming up or already being right here. Like, for example, one of my stocks that I'm really focused on right now is HP. Another stock that I'm really focused on is ON. Now, these stocks are on my watch list. We're going to go through my watch list in just a few minutes, and we're going to look at the intraday price action on them. But I wanted you to see right away that if it was at 4 o'clock, at 3:30, I already have two stocks that are on this watch list already ready for me to go. HP, which again, GM too, by the way. Let's see where GM is. Do I see GM here too? No, we see ON and HP. Let me see if I find any of my other stocks on this list while I'm looking. And this is not hypothetical. This is me really looking. Citibank right there. Citibank. I have American Express and Citibank on both of my lists. Let's see if there's anything else. This is going a little too far down, but this is good right here. So we got 1, 2, and 3 out of like 15 stocks. Now, let me go through my watch list and see if we could find any more examples like that match to give you, okay? So we'll start with the short side first. GTLB, okay? So here's a stock. This is a really weak stock breaking the 200. Now the stock, see, look at that. First hour it was breaking, but then what did it do? It's just consolidating. So we would want to see this stock. We would want to see this stock at least break down below this level right here. At least, preferably even below. And I would like to see that in the last hour of the day. And I would want to take this short. So I have it on my list. And I have on my list what I want to see. See how I'm taking you guys step by step through the whole process?
Mm-hmm.
If this doesn't teach it for them, Raleigh, I give up.
Well,
Netflix.
one quick question here,
Yeah.
Roger. I think people are really there. It's really sinking in that entry point. Okay.
Oh,
Then the
good,
next
good.
question that people ask is, well, Roger, you, Omar, whomever, what is your
Yeah.
profit target? How do you establish that? We know where your stop loss is. We know where your entry point is. What's your profit target?
Show you. What was that stock we were just looking at a minute ago? We were just looking at a stock. What was the
Was it
stock? I just want to
Cisco
pull. It might have been. Hold on. Let me see.
or GTLB? That's we're getting that from the or General Motors
General Motors. Well, let's just start. Let's just do Cisco, for example.
or Citibank. See.
There's my there's my profit target right there.
Okay, this is what ProTrader dashboard setting for you. Okay.
Yeah. Here's my profit target one, and here's my profit target two.
And that's based on the average true range.
Yes. And if I enter somewhere around here, I would probably get out here unless it's still 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it gets here and it still supports this level and has more heads up. But these are my profit targets.
And then the
Those
other
were my those.
question that came up in this area, Roger, before I let you move on, is Tom
Yeah.
said, man, this is awesome. And he says, but here's a hypothetical. Let's say things are still chopping around 11 o'clock. How much time in advance of the move typically do we see the ADD go up big time? Roger, you mentioned 1200 as an example of something that you'd like to see.
I just wanted to see it. I just want to see it at 1200 any time in the day.
Okay.
But usually 90% of the time, it doesn't go from being small to being big during the day. Usually 90% of the time, it goes from being big to small in the beginning of the day. Do you guys know why? Does anybody want to know why?
Yes, we
See, you
want to
raised
know. Yeah,
the
yeah.
because my answer is better than your question because global markets. They took out the tailwind from day trades. And back in the day, guys, we used to have the kind of moves we have overnight now. We used to have them during the day.
During the day, yeah.
Now they're happening in the global markets overnight, and we have big gaps at night. You understand? So what happens when you wake up in the morning, you just get a gap and then it just stops right there. So so yeah, before global markets came around, we used to have these moves during the day. So markets would just open up flat because there would nothing to be arbitraged them against the global markets at night. They would just open up flat and go up 300 points, go down 200 points, get flat again. That's when you could really day trade. Now, we could still day trade, but it's much harder. It's much harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And just
I
like,
probably shouldn't
no,
say this, but I'll say it anyway. A lot of the guys who used to be professional day traders like T-Buzz, he's still using the methodologies, a lot of the stuff he's still using that worked back when there was no overnight global markets. But global markets changed a lot, so he had to adjust his strategies to it. So you got to make sure that that you understand that these things, global markets, really took the air out of U.S. markets. They really took the air out of U.S. markets. It was 10 times easier. Back then, you could just trade opening range breakouts, first 15-minute breakouts. They were amazing back 15, 20 years ago. Now it's much harder. And it's happening slower and slower and slower. It's because of the algos and it's because of global markets. So great question, but the answer to your question is actually even better than the answer.
yeah,
Better than the question. So
no,
yeah,
that
global markets is the problem. That's the reason why.
excellent, Roger. Excellent.
Any other
Okay.
questions before I move on?
Yeah, I mean, once again, there's a ton of questions that are coming up here. And I would say this, folks, for those of you that have the Pro Trader dashboard, most, if not all of your questions are answered in the master classes that Roger has there. For those of you that don't have it yet, everything Roger's talking about is contained there. So people are asking questions like, how do I track the ATR? How do I get where do I find the ad? Those kinds of things. Google is your friend, okay, in those cases, but the Pro Trader dashboard and the Market Internals dashboard that Roger provides, does a very, very nice job of just collecting all that together for you. And then there
Yeah.
was another question about the tick, Roger, and maybe you're getting there. At what point in time do you look at the tick in this selection process?
In this selection process, I don't. I'll tell you when I look at the tick. Tick, and we were actually, Matt and I were talking about that this morning. The only time I look at the tick is when I see a big fat bar like this. See this bar right here?
Yeah. Okay.
Or see this bar right here? So Matt's like, ooh, look at the size of this bar. And I was like, okay. And look at the tick. It wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going anywhere at all. There was no movement from the tick. So it tells us that it's usually an isolated move. Tick hasn't been ticking. Now it went up a little high about 20 minutes ago, but all those big bars had nothing behind them.
That's actually what got us into the trade we're in now.
Exactly. Exactly. I was going to say, yeah, we were actually talking about that earlier today. I'm assuming you're long right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. So let me now take you through an example of some stocks, and I'll start with my long list. And what I'll do is I'll show you if I still like it for a swing trade, and if I still like it for a now. And then I want to circle back really quickly to options, okay? Because I think I'm answering everybody's question. So let's try this. GTLB. So look, the stock fell off a cliff in the morning, right? A lot of people went short here. But look what happens. And the stock isn't bullish yet. It's still down 14%. But you see how it just consolidates? So you want it to break lower before doing anything. Getting in the morning would have been a big mistake. Look at Netflix, same thing. Breaks down in the morning, comes up, and you know what it'll probably do in the second half of the day? Come back down again. But here would be your dead zone right here. That's your dead zone right there. What I'll do is this. In other words, this is where you would short, and this is where you cover your short. Okay. So I'll just draw a rectangle on each of the intraday charts. Okay. Lee Motor went down by 11 o'clock. What happened? No more. Now it's going sideways. If it's going to go down, it's going to come down. That's where I would strike. So right there. There's your box right there. A breakdown here means go short, and above here, cover your short. If you're day trading, PayPal, same thing. You seeing a pattern here? Breaking down by 11 o'clock, you're done. That's why I like to look at stocks after, 10, 11 o'clock. Those are the ones that are breaking down. That's where the money is. Now look again. Here's your box right here. If it breaks below here, that's a good short. If it comes above here, you don't need to here. A little higher up. You don't need to be in this thing if you're day trading. Okay. AMD. AMD came up too high up. Too high up, bouncing too high up. It's already at the 8 days, so we're going to negate this. OMDA. That's a nice short. Okay, same thing here. We bottomed out by 11 o'clock. Now we have a box. I want to find stocks that are breaking down after 11 o'clock or making new highs after 11 o'clock. You see? Seriously, look at the time I put on that IBB trade. It was 10:58. It was 11 o'clock. Visi. Okay, this looks great. Now, this one, I probably would have already... Now, I'll be honest. I probably would not have waited. I would have gotten short right here. Right there. I would have gotten short right here. And if I'm day trading, my stop loss would probably be right here, this breakdown. This is the breakdown. This is where it started breaking down. There's no reason to hold above that level. Right there. If you're day trading. If you are day trading. Okay. So I would be short. I would be short this rate. Spotify. Okay, here's a perfect example. Matter of fact, is Omar here? I don't have the chat open. Is Omar
Yes,
here?
he is here. Yeah.
Omar, do you give me permission to tell them where the time that you entered on this trade? I don't want to say anything to get me in trouble. So can I give them the time that you entered this trade? That's all I want to do. I just want to show them an entry. I don't want to give out any, there's not really anything crazy there, but I just want to make sure you don't mind me
And
because this is
yeah,
an actual.
and Omar just responded, of course, you can do that.
Okay, cool. He got in right here. Right there, literally right here. Right there. That's where Omar went short. And I'm going to take a guess. Omar and I have not talked about this yet, but I'm going to take a wild guess that his stop loss is. And Omar, please don't just say something for the sake of be 100% straight, please. It's your exit is somewhere right above this area, right about. The chat is. I don't have the chat open. I'm just gonna say it's somewhere right here around 569 ish. Am I right? In that ballpark?
Yes,
Tell me
he
if
says yes.
you see, guys, it's not that complicated. Now, did you guys see exactly what Omar did where he went short? He didn't go short here. He went short here. That's the only one I want to use as an example, Omar. Thanks for letting me do that. I don't want to, mix the goodies. So let me go. The only reason I brought this one up is because it happens to be the next one on my watch list to the short side. So Vittel, another one. So see how it drops? You would have. And again, Omar, if there's anything I'm saying that you don't agree with or what, please feel free. This is not this would be where I would want to see a breakdown. And you don't want to, if it's breaking down like at 340, perfect swing trade, not a day trade. You don't have enough time to make your money. And in this case, I would probably put my stop loss like right here. Or like right there, even closer. Okay.
So Roger, on that one trade that where you shared where what Omar was doing, several people are wondering. They noted the stock. So it was a short trade, right? So he noted that it was really moving in his direction, and then it started to turn around. Was there a
Yes.
profit point at anywhere in there? Okay.
Well, let's put it on. Let's put it on the Pro Trader Dash right now. Let's do it right now. Here. Spotify.
And Omar's writing that, hey, Roger, you're just repeating his rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would imagine that Omar is waiting for it to come down here. Yeah, he's 50 at 650. He just wrote to me. I did not see it. 654.08. Got it. So Omar. Yeah, so let's see here. 64. Oh, you took profit, Omar. No, wait a minute. Your entry. Hold on a second. Exit spot is 60. Oh, you got out when it came back into your entry spot. I understand. I got you. He got out when it went back. I understand. He got out when it went right back to his entry spot. He didn't hold on here. He was looking for more downside. He was looking for this.
Okay.
Omar was looking for this.
So he moved his stops to his entry point. Yep.
So after it broke down, he moved his stop to his entry point, which is perfectly fine. Thanks, Homer. Now I understand.
And the other thing, and Omar, I'm sure you can see, I hope, well, some of this is just coming to the panelists. People are wondering, were you trading the underlying stock or were you trading an option on it and just watching the stock?
No, Omar was trading. So up to a week ago, Omar was trading the 19th expiration. And Omar and I had a chat, and I said, Omar, there's really no reason for you to trade the 19th expiration if you're not holding overnight. If you're holding overnight, and he's like, well, what should I do? I said, your journal will answer that question. And your journal will tell you. And he said, no, most of my profits are from day trades. So I said, why are you going all the way to the 19th? You can go to the 12th. So as of this week, as of yesterday, he's been using the 12th expirations.
Okay.
That's already. So what Omar's doing with me right now is I'm letting Omar trade the way he trades. He's posting all his entries and exits. I take notes, and then as after, I don't influence his trade at all. After he's done with the trade, then I tell him what I think about it, good, bad, and the ugly. And
That's
so far,
wonderful.
I've agreed with Omar about Oh, I would say about 80% of the time. My problem with Omar's trades right now is I love his intraday setups, his exits, and his entries. I love them. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm having some issues with his date with the stocks that he's setting up on a daily. That's what my issue is right now. Again, we've only been doing this for a week. I plan on doing this for as long as it takes. And I'm not charging Omar a penny for this, and I wouldn't even think about doing that because this is helpful for everybody. Okay. All right. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue doing this, and let's do the long side now. Okay. So American Express. Now here's your entry right here on American. That's your entry on American Express. See how the stock breaks out and goes higher? That's your entry on American Express. And Omar may or may not be long that stock. I'm not going to say anything. HP, your entry on that stock would, well, you probably wait till it's right here somewhere. Okay, nice stock on a daily chart. GM, right here, right there. I think we mentioned this one before. Cisco, I like Cisco a lot right now, actually. Cisco, you would have entered like right there, and you'd be long right now. Your stop would be right here. So Omar, if you were trading Cisco, would your stop be like right there? 67. Again, I don't have the chat open. I have no idea what he's saying or if he's agreeing or not. But I would bet that Omar's stop loss would be right there. 60, 76, 97. And he's not long this stock. We're just having a conversation. All right. So if Omar was long, that would be his stop right there. Right there. Okay. Let's continue. The RTX. Here's your entry right here. And here's your stop loss right there. Happens to be right at the VWAP. And you'd be already in a profit zone on this stock. Again, I'm only showing you stocks that are on my watch list. Apple does something. Nope. Not. We're going to take it off our watch list. Tiva, my long list. I like the stock. Put your stop somewhere like right here. You would have probably gotten in long here. It's a little sloppy, but you definitely would have gotten in the stock somewhere. If you were watching it, you would have gotten into this stock and you'd be holding it right now. And then COHR. Nice stock with an entry right here above 168.28. And your stop loss right below this level right there. Right below that level right there. And we talked about how to build your watch list yesterday. Wow. So let me ask you guys, folks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was today's session?
We've got some 20s. We have 11s. We have 310s. We have 100. Roger, a big hit. A big hit every time. And I can, I've been your wingman now in this room since the 1st of August. And every time you take the time to sit down there and break down and look at specific trades and walk through what you're doing. And today, once again, using Omar as an example, people just go berserk because what it does is it's just reinforcing everything that you've been teaching.
Excellent. Excellent. I wanted folks to, from the Russian judge.
Judge gave a 9.3 because you didn't point your toes. Roger, you have to keep those toes pointed.
That's priceless. You guys are funny. Matt, can you hook me up?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, guys. Excellent. And again, I wasn't trying to pick on Omar or anything like that. Omar's he's a fantastic trader. He really is a fantastic trader. And I just wanted to show you, and there's no secrets. It just doesn't work that way.
No.
The market's not signaling anybody out. But I wanted to show you exactly what Omar does. And again, nobody reinvented the wheel here.
Yeah.
There's no, there, there's no miracle. But what was interesting about how Omar trades is I love how Omar, I love, I don't like, I love how Omar um, enters his trades and his risk management, and I love how he sets up his intraday chart.
Hmm.
In terms of the of being right below the support area. He waits for the support to build. He waits for the stock to stop mucking around and actually show its hand when it needs to show, when it's hard for it to show its hand during real market hours. You know, Linda Rashke's a market wizard. She said,
Yeah.
pay attention to stocks that start moving after 11 o'clock. That's one of the biggest things she said. And you know what? That is very, very valuable. So
Hmm.
I just kind of wanted to show a little bit of what Omar does for you guys so you could see he uses the levels. So what he's doing is he's using the Pro Trader dashboard. He's almost exclusively using these arrows for his entries because you'll get a breakout entry when it's above a certain level. And then if this level is too close to this level, he'll use this as a point of resistance. And if it breaks through this level, he'll use this as a second stop. So in other words, if the signal came in here, he obviously wouldn't be getting out right here. He would be getting out here. But if the signal comes here, then he would probably get out here or at least look to take partial profits up here. So what he's doing is he's using basic technical analysis. He's using the scanner to find the stocks and give them the arrows because as here, the arrows, remember, these arrows coincide with this right
Yes.
here. Okay.
It's where
Also, you know, Omar, I got an interesting idea. He's using the 5 minute. I got a great idea actually, Omar. I think I'm gonna and I'm gonna do this in honor of Omar because I think this is a great idea. I think I'm gonna create another ORBO tab here. Matt, this is when you pay attention, okay?
Yep.
Because you're gonna be the one. You're gonna be the one building it. I'm just the idea guy. He's the one that actually builds it. To find breakouts on stocks above the previous high after 11 o'clock, Matt. In other words, only show stocks on that second tab if they're trading above the 11 a.m. high, or let's say 10:30, between 10:30, maybe 10:45, something like that. 10:45 and below. In other words, we find the highest high between the morning and 10:45, and if it trades above, if it's above that level, it gets on that little on that side. So you would only see like three stocks, two stocks at a time. That would be good, right? Right, guys? That would be good. See, this is why being interactive and talking to you guys really helps because it helps me get a perspective of what's really helping you guys.
Mhm.
So that's
And you
something.
know, the thing that makes it possible, Roger, is that it's rules based. There's no subjectivity here. That's something that's
No,
easy.
no.
It's something very easy to code, and you're just making it simple.
Yeah, and you know how long it would take Matt to code something like that?
He's probably already done
Pro-
it.
Probably 3 minutes if I had to guess, something ridiculous like that.
And that's with
But
his
it would be
left
very
hand.
exactly because it's very useful, very very useful, very very useful. Anyways, so I'm going to do another class. I'm going to do the Pro Trader class for anybody who didn't see it yesterday. Now I'm telling you officially that this is the last day we are doing this class. We are not doing it tomorrow. If we were to do it tomorrow, then I would live stream it and do the class tomorrow. But I know I'm not doing it tomorrow, so I'm not going to do the live stream class tomorrow. So it's not a sales tactic. I'm not doing this tomorrow. This is the last day. So if you want to get in, and I think there's a few spots left in the 50 spots, this is the chance to do it. This will give you a good demonstration